Hello and welcome or welcome back. This is Gonna Be Debt Free. And one of the ways that I'm gonna be debt free is by tracking my debts and tracking my progress on my debts. Because it not only helps me stay focused on not getting more debt and not doing any extra spending so I can throw more money at this, but I got into this mess by not paying attention to it, and I need to stay focused so that I can make the progress. And honestly, the progress is super motivating. Even little progress is motivating, and I've been able to have some pretty good wins. So I have an overall debt tracker for all 6 of the debts that I started this journey with. I have a page for each of these debts individually. Plus I have, I'll just show them really quick. I have these tracker pages that I update so that I can have a visual to see how my progress is going. So I'm going to start with doing each of the debts individually and then doing the summary, and then I'll get into the coloring them. So we will start with, since this last time, I've paid off the American Express. So we will go back to this one and, oh, I'm going to squish it in a little bit, and we will do some math. So last time I ended this, I was at $5,064. And then after that, I accrued interest, and that brought me up to $5,736. And this pen's not the greatest. I'll grab a different one. Okay, and then from the $5,736, I had my bi-weekly number 6. So I had my regular $549 payment, which brought me down to $5,187. And then my regular rollover, which was my Chase payment, because that was the only one I had paid at the time, that brought me down to $4,894. And then you can see here, I did a snowball and pilfered money from various places, pulled money out of my purse, scrounged everything I could to get to the exactly $4,894, so that this is paid off. Yay! Oh, yay! This is paid off. So this is awesome. And then I can come here, and that one is paid off. Make those happy faces instead, but those 2 are paid off. So now the next one that I'm focusing on is my personal loan. This one drives me nuts. You can see it goes down, down, up, down, down, up, down. It's not making the progress I want it to make, so that's why I made this my next focus. So after biweekly 5, I ended at $11,589. And then I made my $85 payment, which got me down to $11,504. And then I calculated out my interest, so I need to add in $115, which brings me up to $11,619. Then my biweekly 7 was my magic paycheck, meaning I had 3 paychecks that month. I was already paid off on everything else. So I just threw $3,000 at this debt, which made a nice dent down to $8,619. Yeah, magic paychecks are a beautiful thing. And then just this last week, on my biweekly 8, I have my regular payment, which increased. So what I did is I rounded up. Instead of $85, I decided to pay $100 every other week. So instead of my minimum payment, I rounded up to $200. And that's because my insurance costs had reduced, and I didn't want that money to sit in my budget. I wanted to take the savings from insurance and put it towards debt. So I increased all my minimum payments. So I need to subtract the $100 payment, which brings me down to $8,519. And then my snowball The 850 is, I have Chase paid off and my American Express paid off, and I rounded those up. And so that's where the 850 came from. It's just my regular snowball for my minimum payment snowballing. And that gets me down to $76.69. And then the extra snowball is the extra from my budget. I didn't have any extra expenses. I didn't have any extra income, but I didn't have any extra expenses. And so this was after I paid my 4 walls, my debts, and my variable expenses. That's how much I had left out of my paycheck. So that's where the $13.30 comes from, which gets me down to $63.39. Oh, that's so lovely. Now, one of the things I wanted to go over is interest, because you can see I add in interest every other paycheck. Now, on the credit cards that I've been doing, it was really easy to add in the interest because it shows up on the statement that they mail you every month. But my 4 remaining debts are all loans, and I don't get monthly statements on them. Just like on my truck loan, I don't get a monthly statement. They just expect you to make the payments every month. And I guess I could look it up, but some of these are kind of sketchy websites that are just hard to navigate. So what I do is I just calculate my interest. So I go back to where my last interest payment was. So that brought me up to $11,619. And then I multiply it by my interest rate. So I multiply it by 11.99%. And that $13.93 this is an annual percentage rate. So based on that amount at that's for a whole year. I just need it for a month. So I divide that amount by 12 and it gets me 116. So that must have been a rounding difference, but so I'm going to add in $116 for the interest. And so if I take the $63.39 and I add in 116, that gets me to $64.55. And that's how I do my interest on all of my loans, because I don't get the statements to be able to look them up. So I calculate it in, because if I didn't add it in, you can see that's already over $500 or almost $500 worth of interest that I wouldn't have calculated in, which means my numbers would have been way off. And by doing it this way and taking a total by my interest rate and then dividing it by 12 and adding it back in, I am much closer to what my actual amount is by doing the extra math and adding the interest payment in. And so I do that every time and do it once a month. So I'm still down to $6,400, which is almost half of where I started, which is so exciting. On to my Home Depot. So at the end of biweekly 5, I ended at $86.81. And I'm going to subtract the $144 that I paid. $85.37. Then I need to add in the interest, which brings me up to $85.80. And then my magic paycheck all went towards my personal loan, so I didn't do anything there. But then this last week, I rolled up all of my minimum payments. This is $300 a month now, so I rolled this up to $150. So I'm going to subtract out $150, which means that I am down to $84.30. And my interest isn't going to be on this because I just made this payment last week. This is closer to where I'm going to be. So I'm going to go back to the $85.80. I'm going to multiply it by 5.99%. That $513 is my annual interest, so I divide it by 12, and my interest is, we'll call it $42. And you can see 47, 45, 43, 42. So I take $84.30 plus the 42, and I am at $84.72. My American Express personal loan. So I was at $26,420. I made a $457 payment. And when I make the payments, each paycheck, I come in and add it to the list, but I don't do the math. Just because I just do the math once a month. 963, 25,963. Then I calculated the interest at $132, which brings me up to $26,095. I didn't do anything with the magic paycheck, and then I rounded the $457 up to $500, so I'm paying $1,000 a month now. And so 26,055 plus 500 is, oops, I'm subtracting it. $26,095 minus $500 is $25,595. Yay, I'm below 26,000, which is great because I started up there. And then I go back to the amount after my last interest payment, so $26,095. I multiply it by my interest rate, which is 5.98%. The 1560 is my annual percentage rate. I divide it by 12, and I get $130 as interest. So I take the 25,595, I add the 130, and I am at 25,725. And on my truck, after biweekly 5, I was at $32,150, and I made a $277 payment, which gets me to $31,873. Then I have to add in $159 of interest, which gets me up to $32,032. My magic paycheck, I did not put anything towards my truck, and now I've increased this $277 to $300 biweekly, so that this goes up to $600 a month. And so I take the $32,032, I subtract out the $300, and I am down to $31,732. And there's at $32.32. I'm going to calculate my interest at 5.99%. That gives me $19.18, which is what I'm paying a year in interest. I divide it by 12, and that gives me $159. So I'll just add another $159. And so the $31,732 plus the estimated interest gets me up to $31,891. Wow. Yay. But still, you can see the progress. And I feel like by adding my interest in, I am being more accurate to what this is, so that when I get to where I'm about to pay it off, I can come up with a more realistic number. So, back to my main tracker. So on my personal loan, that was after biweekly 5. So after biweekly 6, I was at 11,504. And after biweekly 7, I was down to 8,619. Then after last week's, down to 63.39. Now I calculated the interest and I added it in here, but I only update this after a biweekly, so that's not going to catch up until I do my next biweekly. And it's just the way that works for me. Just the way it works for me. So Home Depot. Oh wow, look, that's half. I'm almost halfway through this loan. Because, like you can see when I was focusing on it, it would jump down, and then little progress, and then I focus on it, and I get big chunks made, and then barely, in fact, this one drives me nuts because it was down, down, up, down, up, down, and now that I'm focusing on it, I'm going to see it just keep going down. I'm not going to have the backsliding. $6,300. Oh, considering that I started at almost 12,000, that is such a happy number to see. Okay, yay. Home Depot. 8,681. 8,681 after 5. So after biweekly 6, I was at 85.37. Biweekly 7, I didn't do anything because it all went to the personal loan. So I'm just going to draw a line through that one. And then after biweekly 8, I am down to 84.30. So again, I feel like I'm making some progress there. American Express. So I was at 26,420 after biweekly 5. 26,420. So after biweekly 6, I was down to 25,963. 25,963. Biweekly 7, again, that was magic. It all went to this one, so I'm just going to draw a line through that. Then after biweekly 8, I was down to 25,595. 25,595. 595. Okay, awesome. And then my truck. So after biweekly 5, I was at 32,150. 32,150. After biweekly 6, I was down to 31,873. Again, this is my magic, so I'm going to skip that there. And then after biweekly 8, I was at 31,732. 31,732. That's awesome. So I'm making little bits of progress as I go along. Okay, and then I will update my totals going across. So after biweekly 6, this was 11,504 plus, because that's this biweekly 6 is when I paid this one off. So I've got 0 plus 11,504 plus 85.37 plus 25,963 plus 31,873 equals. So I'm down to $77,877. And then I snowballed on this one. So I started with 8,619. I need to add in the 85.37 from the previous column, 25,963, and 31,873. So this is where I threw that $3,000 at this, so I am at $74,992. Oh, that's below 75,000. That's one of my milestones. Yay! Oh, okay. And then after this last paycheck, this dropped down. And this was my boring paycheck where I didn't have any extra income. I didn't have any extra expenses. This was just my bare bones basic budget. And I was at $63.39 on my personal loan plus $84.30 for my Home Depot plus $25,595 for my American Express personal loan plus $31,732, which gets me down to $72,096 because my snowball here was $22.80. My boring budget, my snowball was $22.80 between the payment and these minimums and the extra from my regular. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I am getting really close to halfway through my loan and I'm only 8 paychecks in. Yay! Happiness. Okay, so I'm gonna go get my trackers and I come back in and I will be coloring in my trackers in a minute. Okay, so here are all my trackers, including Chase, which I've already paid off. And all of these are from, I'll start putting in really close, debtfreecharts.com. And that's where all of these came from. I have a couple of different styles, but I really like them. There's a place where you can put in, like I hand wrote in Chase, and you can write in what your amount is and you determine how much each space is going to be. I've been really happy. So there is, Chase is all paid off. And American Express was my next one. So when I ended biweekly 5, I was at 5,064, and then I paid this all off. So we will go with green and color all this in. Okay, so it's kind of messy. We'll go back in and fill it in later. But American Express is all the way up to 0. So all paid off. And you can see I wasn't making big progress at first. And then I started snowballing and snowballing and snowballing. And so that's what each of the different colors represents, a chunk that I was able to pay against it. And it's why I like the visual trackers, because I can see the little progress and then I can start seeing big progress, which is so exciting. And American Express is paid off. So now my personal loan. You can see I wasn't making tons of progress when I started with this. I was at 11,589 last time. Went to 11,504, which still was nothing that I could color in. After biweekly 7, which was that magic paycheck, got me to 8,619. So 8,619 means I can color up to here. And then biweekly 8 got me to 63.39, which is just below that one, which means that I can color up to here. Okay, so obviously I'm not an expert colorer, and I will go back in off camera and color a little more solid. But from making barely any progress to now that I'm focusing on it, I'm getting big chunks. And that's why I love the trackers. And I love being able to see the progress visually as opposed to just looking at numbers on a page. I really think that this is really helping me stay focused and stay motivated and see the progress that all the sacrifice is making. So that is my personal loan. Now for Home Depot. I ended this last one at, Home Depot, 85.37, which didn't quite get me down to there. And then I'm now down to 84.30, which means that I can color in this row and I'm below there and this row. But I'm not below 83.25, so I can color in those 2 rows. So little by little, working my way up. That is my Home Depot right there. Now my American Express personal loan. I ended at 26,420, which is why I stopped right there. I then got down to 25,963, which means I can color in this row. And then 25,595. I'm not quite down to 25,520, so I can only color in 1 row. Still progress. And my truck. So when I ended, I was at 32,150, which is why I went to there. I got down to 31,873, which is not quite to there. 31,732. Oh. Okay, I'm $7 off. I'm coloring it in. I know that's a little cheaty, but on a $32,000 loan, I want to color 1 row in. If I'd realized I was that close, I would have found $7 and put it on. So that is where I'm at with my truck. And my overall total. So after biweekly 5, I was at 83,904, which is why that line is right there. And then I went down to 77,877, which is about, we'll call it right about there. And then I was down to 74,992, which is right below that line. Ooh. And I am now down to $72,096, which is about, whoops, that one's there. So that one is about there. So you can see how each paycheck I'm taking big steps going down, some bigger than others, but still step by step by step. This was a boring paycheck. I still made a decent step. And if you look at this, each of these little rows is $5,000. Each of these chunks is $25,000. So that I'm making half of a step every time is just phenomenal. I'm really happy with the progress. And I'm below the $75,000 mark, which was one of those milestones. I was meaning to put together a reward system or something, but I've just been working so hard and trying to come up with extra money that I just haven't had the time. But I'm super happy with this progress in just the first few paychecks of the year. And I'm just going to stay focused on it. And I wanted to take a minute to talk about the giveaway. So I recently qualified for YouTube monetization because I have enough subscribers and I have enough watch time, thanks to all of you, that I was able to monetize the channel. And my cumulative earnings so far, I think that by the end of April will be sufficient. I think you have to have $100 coming to you by the end of the month, that they then pay you the 20th of the following month. So I think that I'll have the $100 by the end of April, which means that I should get a check May 20th or thereabouts. I'm still trying to figure this all out. But my plan is to take the amount of my YouTube check and share it with you. I have this under control, and I am so amazingly grateful for the support and the inspiration and all of the warmth that I have gotten by doing this YouTube channel. I started it just to hold myself accountable. But the benefits of it have been so much more than that. Yes, I'm still getting the accountability out of it, but I'm seeing the progress. And by watching all the amazing channels that are out in this community, I have been able to start doing trackers and figure out what to do and how to move forward. And it has been so motivating and so inspiring that I want to give it back. So I'm expecting it to be at least $100. I think that's the YouTube minimum. And I'm going to do it as an Amazon gift card. And the reason I'm doing it as an Amazon gift card is because you can do those like just through email. And so that's what I want to do, is that way it can go to people in Canada, have Amazon, people in the UK or wherever you are. If you have Amazon, I'm sending an Amazon gift card. So it should work for most people in most of the world. So the requirements are the three you always hear. You have to subscribe to the channel. And something about being a public subscriber. You have to like the video and you have to comment on the video. So on each video, moving forward from this one until I announce that I got the check and who the winner is, subscribe, like, and comment, and you will get entered into a drawing for the Amazon gift card associated to however much my YouTube paycheck is. And I'm going to be doing it for the next couple of paychecks. So just get in the habit of liking the videos and subscribing, because I'm just going to keep doing it paycheck after paycheck until I don't know when. For the first few months, for sure. The first few checks, which are, I think, at least $100. I'm still trying to figure it all out, but I'm pretty close on all of that. So, that's the giveaway, and this is my new total, and I'm below 75,000. I'm so excited and I'm so happy, and I'm seeing such great progress. And that snowball, I'm telling you, once you take the minimum payment and move it forward, and take that minimum payment and move it forward, this difference here, almost $2,300, was just minimum payments, basic snowballs. So I'm so glad that I have watched other people, and I've decided to not go in and recalculate my snowball. I'm keeping it, the whole amount I've ever been paying on this debt is my focus to keep it going. And it's because of you that I'm able to see this kind of progress and keep staying focused and keep being gazelle intense, because that gazelle runs that fast because she's scared out of her mind. And this $134,800, I was scared of that cheetah that was chasing me, that debt cheetah. And I'm still plugging forward and staying focused because of you. So thank you so much for the support, and I'm glad for the opportunity that I have to give back. So pay attention for the sweepstakes, and subscribe, like, and comment, and I will catch you next time.